It is 68 degrees in Michigan State Capitol. Wander Franco, the switch hitter, batting from the left side. Hyatt toes the rubber first base side. And at 7:07 p.m., the first pitch. Slung inside, ball one. Franco yesterday drew a couple of walks from Josh Winkowski, also a single and a ground out to first. He went 1 for 2 officially. The pitch. Franco breaks his bat, grounding it past the mound. Gloved by L.J. Talley, throwing to first to get him. Quickly, the Georgia Bulldog gets involved. Hey, the Lugnuts colors, white, red, and black, looks good on him. That's what he was wearing for the past 4 years. Wander Franco at number 1. It is a rarity that you get Wander Franco to hit the ball off the barrel. And that bat of his splintered. Takes off his batting helmet, revealing his bleached blonde hair, and back into the dugout, frustrated. With 1 out, nobody on, the batter now Michael Smith, a left-handed hitting center fielder. The pitch from Hyatt. Misses low and away, ball 1. A sinking fastball. That is the thing, Hyatt. Great natural sink. When he's going well, like Winkowski yesterday, a lot of grounders, the infield is alert. Kicks and throws. Sinks it down low, 2 balls and no strikes. Smith was the leadoff hitter yesterday, and Wander Franco batted after him. Michael Smith a day ago, 1 for 4 with a single in the 8th inning. He also struck out twice. High turns, throws. Missed down and in, 3 balls and no strikes. It is that sort of turn that we saw earlier from a Lansing Lugnut from a couple of years back and Sean Reed Foley that turned the hip toward home plate, then the kick and the toss. Hyatt misses the outside corner. He has walked Michael Smith on 4 pitches. 4 straight balls to Smith and bring up Kaleo Johnson. Not finding the strike zone of the home plate umpire, Steven Rios Jr. Johnson's batting .282. 13 doubles, 1 triple, 7 home runs, and 36 runs knocked in. That is second on the team, behind only Chris Betts waiting on deck. And yesterday, this too was alternated. Right-hander against right-hander. First pitch. He swings and grounds it through the right side, a base hit to right field. Smith takes the turn at second. From right field, Griffin Conine's throw, 1 hop in, and then the ball dropped by the third baseman, Podcool, trying to collect that first bounce, then apply the tag on Smith. Strong throw by Conine right on the base, but a single by Johnson, and their runners at the corners, 1 man out for Chris Betts. In the first inning yesterday, Betts clocked a pitch from Josh Winkowski out over the right field wall, a 2-run homer, his 12th home run of the season. Now that would be the last time that Bowling Green scored in yesterday's game, and the Lansing Lugnuts rallied back to beat them 3-2. An early chance for the Hot Rods. Runners at first and third, 1 man out. Betts batting left. His stance open. Target away. The deal to him. He hits it in the air, right center field, medium depth. Reggie Pruitt to his left, backs up, makes the catch. Smith tags at third. He comes in to score standing. A relay throw into second base keeps Kaleo Johnson at first. But a sac fly for Betts and his team-leading 39th run batted in. It is 1-0 Bowling Green, top of the first inning. That brings up Grant Witherspoon. That, by the way, the first sacrifice fly all year for Betts. Grant Witherspoon batting left, grounds the first pitch through the right side in between the first baseman Danner, second baseman Talley. It's picked up by Conine on the base hit, and Conine pegs it in towards second. A ground ball single for Witherspoon moves Johnson up to second base. Second base hit allowed by Hyatt. It's frustrating for Josh Hyatt, but that is exactly the result that he wants to see in terms of a ground ball, and not a sharp ground ball at that, right off the bat of a hot rod. The 4-pitch walk to Smith, that's what really hurt. The walk to Smith, then Johnson the ground ball single to right. The sac fly by Betts, now the single by Witherspoon. 1-0 Bowling Green. The pitch misses in, ball 1 to Ford Proctor. Proctor's batting .263 in 57 games. He has 13 doubles, 1 triple, and 3 home runs. J. Clifford Proctor out of Texas. The ball went offering. Smacked up the middle. Cuppa hops past the shortstop De Los Santos in a center base hit. Around third base, Johnson. Throw to the plate by Pruitt is high. Johnson slides in feet first safely. Josh Hyatt, the back of the home plate circle. Over to third base, Witherspoon, and Proctor takes second on the throw. An RBI single for Ford Proctor, and now 2-0 Bowling Green. The key for a center fielder in throwing it in is he has to get that throw over the mound. And for Reggie Pruitt, he not only got it over the mound, he just got too much air beneath it. He needs to get that throw down. And there's a chance that the Lansing Lugnuts have Johnson at home plate. Now Roberto Alvarez with 2 runners in scoring position. Alvarez, a right-handed batter. Yesterday in the opener, 1 for 4 with a double. The pitch, whacked foul down the right side, sailing out of play. The baseball bounces off the net and bounces right back into the bleacher seats, stretching down the right field side, and that is up behind the Lansing Lugnuts bullpen. Bowling Green's bullpens at Bowling Green Ballpark in Kentucky are located in front of each outfield corner. Here, foul ground. The pitch lined down the right side foul. 1 hop, 2 hops into the Lugnuts bullpen. That is just past the groundskeeper's tarp. If you follow the right field line before you get to the corner, that's where the Lugnuts relievers sit. And they sit in a horizontal line, their backs to the bleachers, basically facing the right fielder conine. 0-2 on Alvarez. The set by Hyatt, the deal. A ground ball fouled on the left side. In between the third base coach and the manager for Bowling Green, Ronaldo Ruiz, and that foul line. No balls and 2 strikes on Alvarez. Witherspoon is at third base and Proctor at second for Bowling Green. 2 runs are in. 3 hits, all of them singles, plus a walk for the Hot Rods. The 0-2. Breaking ball down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Alvarez is hitting .260. That is 52 for 200 in 53 games, with 7 doubles, 1 triple, and 3 home runs. He is just 19 years of age, out of Puerto La Cruz, Venezuela. Hyde throws. Line drive down the right field line, fading foul. First baseman Danner gave chase. That one heads into the bullpen. With 2 outs, those runners moving on contact. Alvarez trying to flare one right down the stripe. Inside out stroke as Hyatt is working him in. Roberto Alvarez is one of the 2 catchers for this Hot Rod squad. Chris Betts caught yesterday and he's catching again today, so probably Alvarez will be the catcher for tomorrow afternoon's series finale. He requests time and time is granted. He is the 2nd youngest of all the position players on this Bowling Green team at age 19. Only younger, Wander Franco. The deal, down low and away and well knocked down by Ryan Gold. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hyatt is looking to put this top of the first inning to bed. The bat boy, meanwhile, refuels the home plate umpire Steven Rios Jr. with some more baseballs. Grayish white clouds above. Proctor is at second, Witherspoon at third. Hyatt a slight bend at the waist. Love pressed up against his left knee to get the sign. He throws. And this one's hit foul off the right side. And it again settles off into the bleacher seats, bounding forward. Again, Hyatt working in, and again Alvarez parrying it away. This at-bat stretches onward. The thing for Hyatt is he had thrown 11 pitches for the first 6 batters. And now this time, this is going to be pitch number 8 as Alvarez calls for time. Now the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a foul tip, rolling back behind the catcher, rolling off to the right side. And we stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is a 9-pitch at bat. You think about it for Bowling Green. Franco grounded out on a 1-0. Smith was walked on 4 straight. Kaleo Johnson swung immediately. So did Chris Betts. So did Witherspoon. Proctor swung on a 1-0. The 2-2. Shot through the right side. Base hit right field. Witherspoon is in. Proctor for the plate. Conine's throw. 1 hop. The tag applied late. Proctor slides in headfirst safely. A 2-run single for Roberto Alvarez. And now a 4-0 Bowling Green lead. That long battle ends in the favor of the 19-year-old DH for Bowling Green. On the 9th pitch of the at-bat, Alvarez the 2-run single. Now the 8th batter of the inning. It is Seaver Whalen. Bowling Green only scored 2 runs all yesterday. 2 runs before that base hit, and then they added 2 runs on that swing. Right-hander throws to right-hander. Whalen takes ball 1, down low. Whalen's batting average is .245. This is his 50th at-bat as a member of Bowling Green in his 15th game. His 12 hits, 2 of them doubles, 6 RBIs. A pickoff though to first, but Alvarez back in. Hyatt has one of the quicker pickoff moves on this Lugnuts team. Hyatt and Sean Weimer. The ball went offering. A chopper hit towards short. On the second bounce, De Los Santos gloved and then dropped it. And everybody is safe. He took his eyes off the baseball. He was already thinking, I'm going to grab this, and then I'm going to turn to my left and feed Talley. And instead, he never had it in the first place. The error on Luis De Los Santos, and this inning continues. Alvarez to second, and Whalen now at first base. It is unusual for Luis De Los Santos. That is just his 2nd error in his 25th game with the Lansing Lugnuts. The Lugnuts as a squad, 63 errors now committed this year. They've been the 2nd best defensive unit in the Midwest League. Now the pitch to Kevin Santiago. High and outside, ball 1, a Hyatt fastball. That is the full 9 batters for Bowling Green who are hitting in this top of the first inning. 4 runs are in. Runners are at first and second, 2 men out. On the 24th pitch, now utilized by Josh Hyatt, will be coming in here to Santiago. Inside and low, 2 balls and no strikes. Santiago's the switch hitter as the catcher Gold goes out to visit Hyatt right now. And Luis De Los Santos is coming over, and here comes the pitching coach Antonio Cáceres. There's the first baseman Hagen Danner. Now the second baseman LJ Talley, and the third baseman Nick Podcool. Everybody decided at different intervals maybe I should be a part of this conversation. Just trying to regroup in this top half of the first inning. And Kevin Santiago is the batter. Franco led off, grounding out to the second baseman Talley. Smith drew a walk. Johnson singled him to third base. Betts scored him with a sac fly. So 4 batters in, 2 outs, 1 run had scored. Then Grant Witherspoon a single, Ford Proctor an RBI single, Roberto Alvarez a 2-run single. Now Whalen just reached on the fielding error by De Los Santos at short. The meeting concludes. Cáceres back into the dugout, and Hyatt throws the 2-0. Missed inside with Santiago trying to lean in and get hit. He wasn't hit, but the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. In 6 games, Santiago is 4 for 18. 2 singles, 1 double, 1 triple, and 7 strikeouts. The deal way outside, and that's ball 4. That is the first walk drawn by Santiago. The bases are loaded, and Wander Franco is coming up. Well, this is not following the script that the Lansing Lugnuts would have liked to see. Is it possible that the great Wander Franco, #1 rated prospect in all of minor league baseball, will make 2 outs in the first inning? I say that, by the way, with respect. Everybody who watches Franco play understands and agrees this is a fine ball player. The pitch. Franco grounds it weakly to second. Talley gloves. Underhands to De Los Santos at the bag. On the side, retired. A second time in the frame that Wander Franco had a weak grounder to LJ Talley at second. He does supply the first and the third outs. But Bowling Green scores 4 runs, and they do so on 4 hits, 2 walks, and 1 error. 3 runners stranded. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. The Hot Rods 4. The Lugnuts are coming up. You are listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. Bowling Green scores 4 runs in the top of the first inning. Wander Franco did not play a part. Franco supplied the first and the third outs. We go to the bottom half of the first inning, and here comes the Lugnuts' first chance at a response. It is Reggie Pruitt, Nick Podcool, and Griffin Conine, and they're coming up against the left-hander Matthew Liberatore. Liberatore throws. Reggie Pruitt looks at a high away fastball. Pruitt, a right-handed batter. The catcher for Liberatore is Chris Betts. Johnson at first, Santiago at second. Ball 1 offering. That's below the knees, 2 balls and no strikes. Franco's at short and Proctor's at third. It's Whalen in left, Smith in center, and Witherspoon in right. All 9 just batted top of the first inning. The 2-ball pitch. That does grab the outside corner, a called strike. 96 here on the stadium gun. 2-1 on Pruitt, batting .270. Leads the league in triples and steals. The deal. Swing and a miss, chasing that fastball away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 7 steals for Reggie. 28 stolen bases. Batting .270, OPS 722. Open stance, storing the bat. The deal. Down low for ball 3. And taking on who MLB Pipeline declares to be the number 43 prospect in the nation in terms of all of minor league baseball, plus Vancouver. The payoff. Pruitt grounds it left side. That gets through for a base hit. Franco ranged to the right, to his right, but he couldn't cover the hole. And a left receiver Whalen to play it in. And a leadoff single for Reggie Pruitt. 4-0 Bowling Green. Bring up Nick Podcool. Five times base stealers had tried Matthew Liberatore. 3 times successful, twice caught. Lansing being down by 4 runs. Maybe Reggie won't try him. The pitch to Podcool, grounded toward short, should be 2. Franco feeds second 1, Santiago over to first, a double play. And no chance. 6-4-3. 2 outs, nobody on. Now Griffin Conine. Lefty throws to lefty. The pitch to Griffin Conine. Down and away and all the way to the backstop. Ball 1. Here's prospect against prospect in Liberatore. The first rounder last year taken out of Glendale, Arizona against the second rounder last year, Conine. Liberatore deals. And that one does get called a strike on the outside corner, brought up by catcher Betts. 1 ball and 1 strike. Conine's batting average currently at .393. The pitch. Lined foul to the left side, up in sweet level, and then bouncing down to the seats. And a fan in a George Springer jersey, Houston Astros jersey, collects that souvenir. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Liberatore from the third base side of the rubber kicks, brings it. Breaking ball down and away. Conine does not chase. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of the first inning, and Lansing trailing Bowling Green 4-0. Liberatore with the break even. Conine takes a called strike 3 on the outside corner. A fastball painted to get him, and that is Liberatore's first strikeout, ending the frame. Liberatore faces the minimum. We go to the second. Lansing is down to Bowling Green 4-0. You are listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. Michael Smith starts up the second inning. Smith, Johnson, and then Betts 2-3-4 against Josh Hyatt. And it's 4-0 Bowling Green leading in Lansing. The right-hander Hyatt throws. I'd called strike 1 on the first offering, a sinking fastball to the left-handed batting center fielder Michael Smith. Joe walk, a 4-pitch walk from Hyatt in the first, and he scored the first of what would be a 4-run rally. Crowds the plate, Bat moving up and down. Now he stills it, brings his bat to the underside of the zone, and Hyatt lets it fly. Strike two called on the inside corner. Interesting to see if Hyatt, sitting in the dugout during the bottom half of the first inning, how he attacks this top of the second. He lifts up the leg and throws. The breaking ball just missed down. Now here's the case for Josh Hyatt in that first inning. He allowed 4 hits, and they were all 4 of them singles. When you're giving up ground balls, that's what Hyatt wants to do, but they found holes. He throws the 1-2, popped foul, out of play, soaring to the left and over the rooftop. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The most disheartening thing for Hyatt were his 2 walks. The 4-pitch walk to Smith as the second batter, then a 4-pitch walk to Kevin Santiago, the 9th batter. And there was also a fielding error committed by his shortstop, Luis De Los Santos. Hyatt throws the 1-2. A chopper hit to the right side, backhanded by Hagen Danner at first. Throws overhand to Hyatt, covering at the base. There's 1 down. Once again, and out on the ground. Yesterday we saw Bowling Green score 2 runs in the very first inning, and they did not score for the rest of the night. So now let's see if Josh Hyatt can find that same formula that Josh Winkowski, Nasuel Paulino, and Cree Finfrock utilized yesterday. Here now is Kaleo Johnson. A right-handed batter against the right-hander Hyatt with 1 away. The pitch just missed outside. Ball 1. Bowling Green 4. Lansing nothing. What has amazed the voice of the Bowling Green Hot Rod, Sean Mernon, about Kaleo Johnson is that he has shown no rust. The 1-0 swings and misses the off speed. He was way out in front. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. And Johnson missing a full season of baseball and yet coming back, and he has been spectacular. The pitch. A chopper is hit to the left side. Third baseman Podko waits back on a truer hop. Throw across in time by a step. 2 down. Yesterday for Josh Winkowski, out of his 13 outs that he recorded not via the strikeout, he had 11 outs on the ground, and there were 2 outs in the air. And now so far we have seen from Josh Hyatt, there's been 1 out in the air, the sac fly by Chris Betts, and now 4 outs on the ground. Here, the aforementioned Betts batting left. The first pitch. Sinker at the knees, strike 1 call. Betts bats from the left side. His hot rods are on top of Lansing 4-0. Top of the second, 2 outs, and nobody on. Third baseman Podcool shifts toward the shortstop hole. Hyde kicks and throws. Breaking ball, down. 1 ball and 1 strike. Betts had to recover from Tommy John surgery, which set him behind in his minor league baseball development. But here he is, doing good things for Bowling Green. The pitch, a bouncer foul off his right instep, and a 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Betts is a Midwest League mid-season Eastern Division All-Star, just like 7 of his teammates. So I wonder with Betts, like I wonder about a number of these hot rods, will they get the call upwards to the Charlotte Stone Crabs after the All-Star game is done? Will the Tampa Bay Rays reward them? Is there space up there for them? The 1-2. Breaking ball grounded down toward first. High hop for Danner. Right on hand, calls up Hyatt and takes it himself to the bag. Side retired on 3 grounders in the frame. Josh Hyatt's sinker is doing what it's supposed to do. 1.5 complete. The Lugnuts are trailing Bowling Green 4-0. You are listening to Lansing Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. 4-0 Bowling Green with the lead. Bottom half of the second inning. Jake Brote, Ryan Gold, Hagen Danner, 4-5-6 in the Lugnuts starting lineup against the left-hander Matthew Liberatore. In the first inning, a leadoff single by Reggie Pruitt, but then immediately a double play grounder from Nick Podcool, and then he struck out Griffin Conine looking. Things will open up with the right-handed batting DH Jake Brote. The southpaw lets it fly. A fastball high, ball 1. Brote in the series opener yesterday was 0 for 3. He grounded into a double play. He also drew a walk. The kick, the deal. the order, Grant Witherspoon. On the first pitch from the right-hander Josh Hyatt, misses outside, ball 1. Third baseman Podcool is well off his line, halfway to second and in toward the grass. Hyatt kicks and throws. Missed down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Already there is action in the Lugnuts pen. The piggybacker Troy Watson has started softly tossing. This might be Hyatt's final frame. Hyatt kicks, deals, fouled back in the air to the left. Up in a straight level, then bouncing back down into the seating bowl below. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Witherspoon is 1 for 1. He had one of the 4 hits for the Bowling Green Hot Rods in the first inning, scored 1 of their 4 runs. The deal. Shot left side in between Podcool and Delos. A base hit to left. Picked up out there by DJ Neal, and he lobs it in on 1 hop to second. An opposite field single for Witherspoon, who is now 2 for 2 in the game. And that brings up Ford Proctor. Now, because tonight is Star Wars night, the Lansing Lugnuts and the Bowling Green Hot Rods images on the video board have been replaced by, shall we call them, significant characters from the saga. And Ford Proctor is Boba Fett, the bounty hunter. The pitch. Down low, ball 1. Bowling Green 4, Lansing nothing. Proctor batting from the left side, and Witherspoon at first base with nobody out in the 3rd inning. Witherspoon 11 stolen bases, by the way, this year, and he's been caught stealing 4 times. Hyatt, the set. The pitch. Line drive right, field Conine into his right. He makes the catch diving. Gets up and gets it in. Witherspoon retreats to first. Well played by Griffin Conine. A star next to it on the scorecard. That is the first out of the 3rd inning. Now the batter, the DH, Roberto Alvarez. He's a right-handed batter against the right-hander Hyatt. Hyatt out of the stretch. Throws, Witherspoon runs. Pitch called a strike, throw down to second base. The tag by Talley, not in time. Witherspoon safely in feet first. Steal number 12 this year. It was a great jump by Witherspoon, because the throw was fine by the catcher Gold. And the second baseman Talley, a very quick tag. The Hot Rods are looking to increase this 4-0 lead. And Roberto Alvarez 1 for 1 with a 2-run single. He did his part in that 4-run first inning. A strike 1 offering now to the Bowling Green DH on its way. Called the strike on the outside corner. 0-2. Alvarez brings his bat to the underside of the zone. This pitch swung at and missed. He is gone on strikes. Josh Hyatt strikes out Alvarez for Hyatt's first strikeout of the game. And that'll bring up Seaver Whalen. I was quickly looking up which character was who. Roberto Alvarez, by the way, was Jango Fett, Boba Fett's father. Whenever I hear the name Boba Fett, the Star Wars character, you know who comes to mind is the former Lugnut, Bo Bichette. The pitch to Seaver Whalen will wait as a spin around to the mound and look back to the runner at second. Whalen is Jabba the Hutt. Right-hander throws to right-hander. The pitch. Whalen takes a called strike on the fastball, working the inside corner. The leadoff single by Witherspoon, stealing his way into scoring position. And Josh Hyatt is going to try to strand him right there. I do see some light-up lightsabers around the ballpark today. Whether purple or green or blue so far. And 0-1 now from Hyatt on its way. Bounced foul at home plate, 0-2 on Whalen. That great baseball first name of Seaver. Seaver Whalen's hometown. Vancouver, Washington, not Vancouver, British Columbia. He's batting 8th in the order, and he reached base his first time up on a fielding error by the shortstop De Los Santos. 2 outs, 2 strikes, runner at second. The pitch. Check swing, called strike 3 on the inside corner. Hyatt sets him down, watching. Back-to-back strikeouts by Josh Hyatt retired the side in the top of the 3rd inning. Witherspoon singles, stranded at second. 2.5 complete. Our score 4-0 Bowling Green leading in Lansing. You are listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. Two and a half innings complete. The middle of the 3rd inning brings us to the home half with L.J. Talley followed by D.J. Neal and Luis De Los Santos. Lugnuts down 4-0. The first offering to Talley, grounded left side, picked up by 3rd baseman Proctor. The throw to first. Yes, Kaleo Johnson did keep his right foot on the base. And Talley, in his first professional plate appearance, is a ground-out victim. The very first 2019 draftee to join this Lugnut squad. Talley is at number 1. The batter now is D.J. Neal against the left-hander Matthew Liberatore. Neal, a right-handed batter, hitting 8th in the order. On deck, Luis De Los Santos, then back around to the top. Right-hander against the southpaw. Liberatore deals. Fouled back to the right, up in a sweet level. Off the hands of a fan, bouncing behind him, glancing off the window, and then into the row behind him. And now everyone gets to figure out who wants that baseball. No balls and a strike on Neal. 1 out, nobody on. The kick, the pitch. Line drive to right center field. Smith backs up to his left. Can he get there in the gap? Yes, he runs it down. Michael Smith rushing out into deep right center field. And somehow he managed to stab that baseball. If he didn't make that grab with Neal's speed, that is likely a triple and maybe more. That is 2 fine defensive plays by Bowling Green to open up this bottom of the 3rd inning. On the batter now is the shortstop, Luis De Los Santos. The pitch. De Los Santos showed bunt, pulled back, takes a ball outside. Reggie Pruitt is waiting on deck for the Lansing Lugnuts. Lugs trying to turn over their order. And they're down 4-0 to Bowling Green in the 3rd. The pitch. A chopper is hit towards short. Second high, Hop Franco. Long throw. Yes, sir. Side up, side down. All 3 of those defensive plays were fine for Bowling Green. That was a chance for the 18-year-old Franco to show off the arm. We are bound for the 4th inning, and it's Bowling Green 4, Lansing nothing. You are listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. Three innings complete. We start up the 4th, and it's 4-0 Bowling Green leading Lansing. Right-hander on the mound for the Lansing Lugnuts remains Josh Hyatt, throwing. First offering fouled back to the screen on a jam shot by Kevin Santiago. The switch-hitting second baseman, hitting 9th in the order. Josh Hyatt has gained some steam ever since the 10-batter, 4-hit, 4-run first inning. The right-handed Hyatt out of Charlotte, North Carolina against the lefty Santiago. The pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2. Santiago from Patillas, Puerto Rico. All of last year he was injured. He is now back in action this year. And this for Santiago is game number 7 with Bowling Green. Bat held low. The pitch to him. Hit high in the air to left. Out into the outfield grass goes shortstop De Los Santos. Called off by the left fielder D.J. Neal, who puts it away. And there's 1 down. Top of the order time. Wander Franco once more. Franco is 0 for 2. Twice he is grounded to the second baseman, L.J. Talley. Once he was thrown out at first base, and the other time, Talley decided why not go the short way, get a force at second. The switch-hitting Franco also bats from the left side, naturally. 1 out, nobody on. First pitch. Taking all the way, and it's a fastball right down the middle. A called strike 1. 4-0 Bowling Green. Outfield straight up, infield straight up. The deal. Breaking ball inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Franco was signed by the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2017. He is everything that they expected him to be. A 1-1. That fades low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike on Franco. Number 1 prospect in the entire Tampa Bay Rays organization. And if you put him in any other organization, he'd be the number 1 prospect there too. A 2-1. Bounces in. 3 balls and a strike on Franco. His hometown, Bani, Dominican Republic. He was signed for $3,825,000. He was signed as the number 2 international free agent prospect in 2017. They could have made him number 1. Here's the pitch. He swings and gets under it into center field. Reggie Pruitt ranging to his right, calls off DJ Neal. He has a one-handed snag right in front of the brim of his ball cap. Now there's 2 outs. Franco's 0 for 3 today. Now the center fielder, Michael Smith. Hot Rods 4, Lugnuts nothing in the 4th inning. And Josh Hyatt is looking for another easy frame. Hyatt kicks and throws. Smith takes ball 1 down low. He's a purely left-handed batter, unlike Santiago and Franco, the switch hitters who preceded him. He's batting second of the order with a walk, a ground out, and a run scored today. The pitch. Line drive up the middle, caught by shortstop De Los Santos. He speared it to his left up the middle of the diamond. Side retired. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Josh Hyatt is picking up steam, especially with the defense behind him. It is Bowling Green 4, Lansing nothing. You are listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing's sports station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. 4-0 Bowling Green. The Lansing Lugnuts, though, are bringing up the big batters now. 1, 2, 3. Pruitt, Podcool, Conine, round 2. Against the hard-throwing left-hander, Matthew Liberatore. Reggie Pruitt batting from the right side. Liberatore starts the windup, throws. Curveball, called a strike on the outside corner. Going back door. Pruitt is 1 for 1 with a single to left field his first time. The only hit so far against Liberatore. The pitch. Showed bunt, pulled it back. The pitch was low. On appeal, yes, he did. Bases umpire Dylan Bradley. Fist punching the air. And that's strike 2. Troy Watson warms up in the Lugnuts pen. The pitch here. Breaking ball grounded right back to Liberatore. He gloves, turns, and throws to first in time. Reggie Pruitt is out number 1. Now the third baseman, Nick Podcool. Podcool is 0 for 1 today. Fouls off the first pitch to the right side, and that's strike 1. 1 out, nobody on in the last of the 4th inning. You hear the ambulance speeding up Larch Street to our right. Liberatore's pitch, a fastball high and wide. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch to Podcool. A fastball is high. The Cat 2 balls and 1 strike. 97 miles an hour here on the stadium gun. As Liberatore is bringing it. Liberatore. Liberatore with the kick and the toss. On the breaking ball in the inside corner, a called strike 2. Liberatore was drafted 16th overall last year by Tampa Bay. He kicks and deals. On the curveball served right in the air at third baseman Proctor at number 2. Liberatore drafted out of Mountain Ridge High School, that in Glendale, Arizona. The 9th pick in Mountain Ridge High School history in the MLB draft. But none of the prior draftees had gone higher than the 21st round. He was born in Peoria, Arizona, but he currently makes his home now in Punta Gorda, Florida. Lefty throws to Griffin Conine. The pitch. Just missed away and dropped by the catcher Betts, ball 1. Conine struck out looking, and a fastball in the outside corner his first time up. 4-0 Hot Rods. Here it comes. Breaking ball down and away again. 2 balls and no strikes. Liberatore, the number 5 prospect in the Rays organization, against Conine, number 15 for the Blue Jays. The 2-0. And that is called a strike, working the outer half with a fastball. 2 outs with the bases clear. And Bowling Green is up 4-0 on the strength of a 4-run first inning. The kick and the pitch. Lined foul off the netting above the Bowling Green dugout, and then caught by one of the Hot Rods in that dugout down the third base way. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count on Conine. And let's see if he continues to stay away. This has been away with both the soft and the hard stuff. Liberatore throws. Conine takes the breaking ball for a called strike 3. He curved him for the K. That is strikeout number 4 for Liberatore and a 1-2-3 frame. We are heading for the 5th, still 4-0 Bowling Green. We're listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. Josh Hyatt pitched 4 innings for the Lansing Lugnuts today, and now he is out. And the new man on the mound is Troy Watson. I beg your pardon, it's still Josh Hyatt out there. Hyatt dealing down inside, ball 1. The Bowling Green Hot Rods' first batter of the 5th inning, that's Kaleo Johnson. So no Troy Watson yet. Credit Hyatt for keeping his pitch count down. 4-0 Hot Rods thanks to a 4-run first inning. The pitch to Johnson, rocketed foul down the left side, ear to the netting that protects all of the cars that are right now, and I mean now, coming southbound on Cedars. Clearly, everybody just received a green light after that foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Johnson. Betts and Witherspoon to follow, 3-4-5. The pitch, breaking ball, just missed inside. 2 balls and a strike. About Josh Hyatt. Now 64 pitches utilized by Hyatt, and it was looking a little dicey. In the first inning, he basically threw a little bit less than half of that. He throws. Breaking ball missed inside again. 3 balls and 1 strike. But just like we saw yesterday with Josh Winkowski. A tough first inning for Winkowski, 1 pitch. For Hyatt, he got nickel and dimed. And then after that, much better in terms of the results. Although the process was there. The 3-1. Popped up on the right side, foul ground. Long run for catcher, goal to the dugout, sliding, but he can't make the catch. The dugout railing was approaching in a hurry, and he loosened up his right shin guard. And once more, the reliever, Watson, is throwing in the pen. And now here comes the athletic trainer, Hiro Yoshimoto, and something happened to Josh Hyatt. Oh no, the Lansing Lugnuts starting pitcher is reaching for his left leg. The back of his left leg, I believe I saw it first. And that happened on that foul, perhaps even on that pitch. And the Lugnuts are going to go immediately to the bullpen. And let's see who they'll bring in ice cold in this situation. It is the right-hander Joey Polito who is coming in ice cold. Polito will have all the time that he needs to loosen up and be ready, as Hyatt is being tended to for a leg ailment, it certainly appears at the moment. helped up by the athletic trainer Hiro Yoshimoto. And Hyatt, a handshake and a hug for his catcher Ryan Gold. And now he heads off the field on the first base side, limping the entire way that he does so. Boy, Hyatt had discovered a groove and was pitching well. And so a mid-at-bat pitching change. The count on Kaleo Johnson is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Joey Polito, the new Lansing Lugnuts pitcher, at 5'10", 175 pounds. Polito hailing from Clute, Texas, a 32nd round selection last year out of the University of Houston. And the last time that we saw Polito on the mound, he was fine. 4 scoreless innings for Polito. That allowing 3 hits, no walks, and 5 strikeouts and picking up the victory in the Lansing Lugnuts series opening win at 4 Winds Field over the South Bend Cubs, 11-7. Polito at one point this year was placed on the injury list. Then he was activated and he was moved up to AAA Buffalo, and there he made 1 appearance for the Buffalo Bisons, taking on the Rochester Red Wings. In that game for Polito, 2 1/3 innings. He allowed 2 hits, he walked 2, he struck out 2. Make sure that I'm getting this right. Oh, I beg your pardon, 2 2/3 innings. 3 hits, walking 1, yes, striking out 2. And Polito, after that experience, up there at the AAA level and came back here to Lansing, Michigan. And maybe the South Bend Cubs batters, as single-A batters, maybe he said to himself, they're not as challenging as the guys that I just faced. He has come back in brimming with confidence. Johnson, Betts, and Witherspoon are waiting in his way. It is Star Wars night tonight, as you'll hear from the montages and the music in the background. A scene from Return of the Jedi is playing right now on the big video board. Tomorrow, Father's Day at Cooley Law School Stadium. Father's Day all around the country. But here a very special Delta Dental Kids Day as the Lansing Lugnuts host the Bowling Green Hot Rods in the final game of the first half. The Lugnuts will start the right-hander Troy Miller out of the University of Michigan. He'll be taking on the right-hander Caleb Sampin. Sampin was acquired via trade by the LA Dodgers, or rather I should say acquired by Tampa Bay in a trade from the LA Dodgers. That acquired earlier this year, the 22-year-old out of Brownsburg, Indiana. So Sampin for Bowling Green, Miller for Lansing. Play catch with their dad on the field before the game. Game time 1:05 p.m. and then after the game, kids run the bases. That's tomorrow at Cooley Law School Stadium. Go to LansingLugnuts.com or call 517-485-4500 to purchase your tickets. That's 517-485-4500 or LansingLugnuts.com, or you know what? You could just come by in person, located at 505 East Michigan Avenue between Cedar Street and Larch Street, downtown. So good to have you out at the ballpark as the Lugnuts wrap up the first half of this year. For the Lugnuts, well, that'll be game number 69. They had 1 game canceled, that against the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. So 1 game short for the 70-game first half of the Midwest League schedule. And then we'll start up the second half of the season. Second half begins in the Dayton Dragons home of Fifth Third Field. That June 20th, June 21st, June 22nd, and June 23rd. A 4-game series at Dayton before the Lugnuts are right back home June 25th through July the 1st, hosting the Lake County Captains and, for whatever reason, the Bowling Green Hot Rods again. Feels like we can't get away from the Bowling Green Hot Rods at home. They were just here May 31st through June the 2nd. They're here right now, and we will see them at the end of this month to boot. And then, for Bowling Green, that is it for all the trips that they have to make to Michigan State Capitol. What a weird schedule. But go to LansingLugnuts.com and get more information. Live the Lug life and go nuts. Joey Polito has given the go-ahead. He has said that he is ready. Josh Hyatt leaving to injury reasons, precautionary reasons. Here's the pitch to Kaleo Johnson. The 3-2, down low and away. And that is ball 4. And down to first base goes Kaleo. Chris Betts is the new batter. Betts 0 for 1 today with a sac fly and an RBI in the first inning. Johnson at first base and nobody out. The right-handed pitcher against the lefty Betts. The deal fouled straight back. And that's strike one. By the way, according to the quirks of the baseball rulebook, that walk is charged to Josh Hyatt because Joey Pulido had entered with a count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. At 0-1 now for Betts, on its way. Down low, in, bounces off to the right side, and down to second base goes Johnson. Kaleo Johnson into scoring position on a wild pitch from Hyatt. Line not necessarily complete yet for Josh Hyatt. 4 innings plus, 3 walks. He allows 5 hits in all. 4 of those hits came in the 4-run first inning. That runner at second base belongs to Josh Hyatt because of the quirk of the baseball rules. The 1-ball, 1-strike offering from Pulido on its way. Down low and in. This bounces off to the right. Runner takes off for third. And the throw in on one hop late from Gold. I don't think Ryan Gold understood the urgency of the runner advancing. And because of that, a second straight Pulido wild pitch. Maybe Gold thought it didn't bounce away all that far. But Kaleo Johnson broke. And Gold far too late in retrieving and getting that baseball over to third. And Joey Pulido had 1 wild pitch all year with the Lugnuts, and now wild pitches on back-to-back offerings to Betts. The infield forced to come in. Pulido throws, bounced it in. This one off to the left side and knocked down by Gold. Well, Pulido works well low in the zone, but right now he is burying everything. And Ryan Gold is saying, Joey, let's talk about this. The right hand for the catcher goes around the back of Pulido, squarely upon Pulido's nameplate on the back of his home white jersey. Ryan Gold talks with him all the way up to the mound and then gives him a pat and returns to home plate. The infield, Podcool at third, De Los Santos at second, De Los Santos at short, I should say, Talley at second, and Danner at first. And they've been drawn in. Right now, De Los Santos has his toes in the infield grass. 3-1. Betts grinds it hard and fair down the right field. This baseball goes to the right field corner. Conine slides over to stop it. Johnson scores. Betts for second. The throw offline and late. Conine had a little brief juggle out there in right field. It is now 5-0 Bowling Green. And credit Betts with the RBI double. That run is charged to Josh Hyatt, and so you can finish up his line. 5 runs allowed in 4 innings plus, and that certainly does feel unfair. Well, now Betts into scoring position with nobody out. And the batter, Grant Witherspoon, is 2 for 2, batting from the left side. He has singled twice, he has a run scored, and he has a stolen base. An open stance for Witherspoon out of Tulane. Pulido throws. The off-speed called strike one. Ford Proctor's waiting on deck for Bowling Green. The Hot Rods increasing their lead. 4 in the first, now 1 so far in the 5th. The pitch, grounded foul down the right side and into the far side of the Lansing Lugnuts dugout. Witherspoon wears number 22, highly athletic and standing 6'3", weighing in at 200 pounds. Pulido looks back at the runner, a second look, now the pitch. That's down low, the off speed taken. And that one was well blocked by Ryan Gold. Boy, Pulido is making Gold work. And just to consider this from Pulido's perspective, Joey Polito came into this game utterly cold because Josh Hyatt had to be pulled due to injury precaution. The 1-2. Line drive right field, and that hooks down for a base hit. Conine to his left to cut it off. Johnson's around third. He scores. Conine's throw in is perfect second base. That holds Witherspoon at first with a single. Chris Betts comes in on the Grant Witherspoon RBI single, and it is now 6-0 Bowling Green. Now that brings up Ford Proctor. Witherspoon at first, a threat to run. He's already stolen second base once in this game. Proctor 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a run scored. The pitch. Proctor takes at the knees for a called strike. Meanwhile, Troy Watson has been warming up in the Lugnuts pen, but it seems to me that the Lugnuts would rather bring in Watson to start off an inning, so likely the 6th. They want Polito to get out of this 5th. He fires. Proctor lofts it over the second baseman Talley, a base hit to right center. Pruitt comes in to collect the first hop, lob it into shortstop and De Los Santos. But a single for Proctor. That is now 3 straight base hits against Joey Polito. Witherspoon is up to second, and Roberto Alvarez is coming up. Roberto Alvarez is 1 for 2 with a 2-run single. First offering, line drive, right field, right down the line. Conine runs it down. Proctor's a ways off of first base. A throw comes back into second. Proctor scurries back in. Witherspoon holds it second. That is a fine running catch by Conine at out number 1. Two runs so far in this 5th inning, and they're hitting Joey Polito. Griffin Conine has been put to the test, and right now the right fielder is bearing up under the scrutiny. The catcher Gold goes to the mound. Polito meets him in front of the hill. A brief word, and now Seaver Whalen is the batter. This is about survival right now for Polito. Double play ball would get the Lugnuts defense out of this frame. 6-0 Bowling Green leads. Right-hander throws to right-hander. Polito's pitch. Down low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Whalen is 0 for 2. He did reach on an error his first time, but that was a ground ball right to the shortstop De Los Santos. The Lugnuts would love to see that again right here. His second time up, he struck out looking against the starter Hyatt. Hyatt now out, and Polito is in. Polito throws. Fouled back to the screen on the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's the fastball from Joey. You realize that Joey Polito last year pitching for the Vancouver Canadians in 24 2/3 innings did not allow a single earned run. Now the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. On its way. Fouled back again. Off the facing of the sweet level, and then dunking downward into the seating bowl. Count goes to 1 and 2. Well, Polito's a strikeout pitcher. Whalen batting 8th in the Bowling Green order. The man on deck, the second baseman, Kevin Santiago. Target low. Polito's pitch. Breaking ball bounced foul at home and rolling to the left. That's that Polito wipeout slider. In the skies, that shade of white to blue to the light gray. We had missed to start off this day. We're doing fine right now. There's the chance for rain, but that is much later tonight. And we have LAFCU fireworks to follow the game. The fireworks might bring some rain. Polito's 1-2. A chopper's hit right up the middle of the diamond. Talley glove steps on second, throws to first to get him at the bag. Yes, he did. L.J. Talley. And his first professional game, that's a double play, and the side is retired. Right up the middle of the diamond with the backhand, stepping on the keystone, throwing across his body to get Seaver Whalen. Joey Polito is out of the top of the 5th inning. 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 man left. We're halfway to the house. Bowling Green 6, Lansing nothing. You are listening to Lansing Lugnuts baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. It is now a 6-0 Bowling Green Hot Rods lead. Easy for me to say as we open up the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Lansing Lugnuts trying to solve the left-hander Matthew Liberatore. It'll be Jake Brote, Ryan Gold, and Hagen Danner coming up. The lefty Liberatore throws, and Brote fouls it back to the screen. Strike 1. What we have seen today, we've seen the hitting from the Hot Rods, we've seen the pitching of Liberatore, and we've seen the defense of the man making his debut, L.J. Talley. The 0-1. Breaking ball with the curve, a called strike 2. Liberatore has faced the minimum thus far through 4 innings. He kicks, lets it fly. A chopper is hit toward short. Franco waits back, gloves, throws to first. Got him with a stretch by Johnson at the bag. There's 1 depth. And the batter now is Ryan Gold. Gold is 0 for 1. Grounding out to the pitcher his first time. And now it has started to rain somewhat as the umbrellas are out, the ponchos are out. The pitch, Gold hits it high in the air to left field. Coming in and to his right, down the line, it's Seaver Whalen, who makes the catch above his head. And there's 2 outs. The only Lansing Lugnuts base runner of the game, Reggie Pruitt, a single leading off the bottom of the 1st inning. And he was erased immediately. Nick Podkul grounding into a double play. Next up, Hagen Danner. Danner batting from the right side, 2 outs, nobody on. He swings and bounces the first pitch down the first base side, staying fair to Kaleo Johnson, right to the bag, and it keeps on jogging back to the dugout. An effortless frame for Liberatore, who continues to face the minimum, and we are through 5 innings. It is 6-0 Bowling Green. It is raining, and it feels like we are currently living in a cloud as the haziness has descended upon Cooley Law School Stadium, and folks are vacating their seats unless they brought umbrellas with them or unless they're wearing ponchos. But we're about to start up the 6th inning. The umpires Dylan Bradley, the bases umpire, and the home plate umpire Stephen Rios Jr. are discussing matters. Meanwhile, the Lansing Lugnuts have gone to the bullpen, and the new man on the mound is the right-hander Troy Watson. Watson is out of Gunter, Texas. He will take on Kevin Santiago, Wander Franco, and then Michael Smith, 9-1-2. Hot Rod 6, Lansing Lugnuts, nada. It's funny to think about Gunter, Texas, because the Lansing Lugnuts last year had a left-hander by the name of Matt Gunter. Watson, just like the starting pitcher, Josh Hyatt, out of UNC, but a different UNC. The UNC that produced Josh Hyatt, North Carolina. Meanwhile, Troy Watson attended the University of Northern Colorado. The Lansing Lugnuts would not mind at all if Watson pitched the 6th and the 7th and the 8th, and hey, depending upon circumstances and pitch count, maybe the 9th inning too. Watson wears number 27. 4 in the 1st inning and then 2 runs in the 5th inning so far for the Bowling Green Hot Rods. For the Lugnuts, not only nothing against the left-hander Matthew Liberatore, but just 1 base hit and 0 base runners left on as Liberatore has faced the minimum. Here's Kevin Santiago to get things going. Santiago's walked and he's flied out to left field. Switch hitter batting left. Watson to the plate. It is bunted back toward the mound. The catcher Gold picks it up, spins, throws, and Rode just did, or I should say Hagen Danner just did keep his foot down on the bag. That is out number 1. Danner at 6 feet 2 inches tall used that stretch. He received the throw, reaching up as far as he could. Santiago bunts out for out number 1. Now Wander Franco, who is 0 for 3. He's grounded to second, and fly to center. The pitch. That's called a strike on the outside corner. About Watson, a 1-1 record for Troy, and a 7.5 ERA. That's very high. Watson kicks and throws. And that's called a strike on the outside corner. 0-2. 95 here on the stadium gun. In 18 innings, Watson has allowed 21 hits and 18 runs, 15 of them earned runs. The step back, the leg kick, and the toss. Just missed the outside corner, not by much. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Franco. It is rare to see Franco strike out. Target is in. The pitch to him. Hits it in the air to left center field, carrying well. Neal from left, Pruitt from center. Can either get there? No, the baseball bounces and it's up against the wall. Pruitt goes down. Neal picks it up and gets it in toward short. And that is a double for Franco. And now Reggie Pruitt is up again. He went sliding over, trying not to collide with the wall. How about Watson working Franco away, away, away. And then he tried to get that ball up, a very high fastball. And Franco's bat quick enough that he could get around on it. And now here comes the athletic trainer for the Bowling Green Hot Rods, Brian Newman, just to check in with Wander Franco. Franco's hands are on his knees, and he's gesturing that something happened when he swung the bat. Now he's pointing back down, maybe at his left heel or thereabouts. Franco goes for a run into shallow left center to see how well he can move. This is all pantomime for Franco, with his manager Ronaldo Ruiz and the athletic trainer Newman. Apparently Franco, just like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. while he was here with the Lansing Lugnuts, his English command is getting better, but still shy about using it. But Franco will stay in the game. That is good to see. You root against any injury of any sort for any player. Franco with the double, his 15th double of the year. And the batter now is Michael Smith. Smith is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored in the first inning. A ground out and a line out since then. 1 man out, 6-0 Hot Rods batting in the 6th inning. The pitch. Smith lines it to right field. Conan started in, circles back to his right. He hauls it in. Franco tags at second. He races for third, checking out the health of his legs. Everything appears good. The throw comes into the infield. A fly out to right for Smith for out number 2. And the batter now is Kaleo Johnson. For Bowling Green today, 6 runs on 9 hits and no errors. And no runs for the Lugnuts on 1 hit and 1 error. This has been decisive so far and highly one-sided. Right-hander throws to right-hander. Watson looking for the scoreless frame. Throws. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Good off speed. Watson has been focusing upon using the slider as his out pitch. His fastball has been in the early, the low, to maybe approaching the mid-90s. Strike 1 toss. And that's in there as a called strike at the knees. Good sinker. 0-2. When he's been going well, 94, 95 miles an hour, maybe up to 96. Let's see if he tries to go fastball here or goes to the slider on Johnson. He kicks and deals. That's a fastball, but he missed inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Six 0 Hot Rods, a potential 7th run 90 feet away. and the person of Wander Franco at third. 2 outs in the 6th inning. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball, hard hit but foul behind the runner Franco and down into the Bowling Green pen. The Hot Rods relievers are all trying to put something over their heads, whether it's a towel for one, a hoodie for another. It is raining, not too hard, but it is raining in Lansing, Michigan. The color of the infield dirt is approaching a reddish brown. The 1-2. Ground ball, hard hit at third, knocked down by Podcool. Long throw now on 2 hops, and Danner unable to scoop. Johnson is on, and Franco scores. 7-0 Bowling Green. The official scorer has charged that a base hit, saying too tough of a play for Nick Podcool at third base. An RBI for Kaleo Johnson as well. Credit Johnson with run batted in number 37. Chris Betts next man up from the left side. Johnson at first, a couple of steps away, held on by Danner. Left-handed batter against the righty. The deal. Outside, ball 1. This is a very different game than the one yesterday and the 3 before that. Bowling Green entered into play today having lost 4 consecutive games. And that is the longest losing streak of the year for the Hot Rods. A ball 1 offering now. A ground ball foul down the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Hot Rods record entering play today, 38-30, which you would think that's a really good mark. Except right now, Lake County and especially Great Lakes have better records. And so it looks like Bowling Green's going to be on the outside looking in. There's a pop foul out of place, soaring to the left side, and a ball and 2 strikes on Chris Betts. Bowling Green needs a victory here today and a Lake County win just to have a chance tomorrow. If they can get both of those, then tomorrow they would need to win. They would need Lake County to lose, and then they would be in. Right now, unfortunately for them, Lake County is winning in Fort Wayne. The 1-2. A bouncing ball hit to the right side. Danner waits, gloves the hop, takes it to his base, side retired. First baseman unassisted for out number 3. 1 run on 2 hits though, no errors, and a runner left at first base for Bowling Green in the top of the 6th inning. 5.5 complete. It is 7-0 Hot Rods. You're listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. Wander Franco had just doubled and scored Bowling Green's most recent run. Its 7th run is now out of the game as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. After all, it's rainy, it's wet, it's the Hot Rod 7, the Lansing Lugnuts nothing, and he might have tweaked something as he doubled in the top half of this frame. Osmi Gregorio has replaced him at shortstop. 7, 8, 9, LJ Talley, DJ Neal, Luis De Los Santos. They're coming up. The warm-up pitches by the big left-hander Matthew Liberatore, age 19, standing in at 6 feet 5 inches tall, 200 pounds. Here's LJ Talley's second plate appearance as a member of the Lansing Lugnuts and as a professional baseball player in general. The pitch to him. Line drive right center field, down for a base hit. Talley has his first professional knock. Michael Smith gets it in from center. A single for LJ. His first time up, he had tried to go opposite field and it was cut off by the third baseman Proctor with a fine play. This time just picked on the very first pitch that Liberatore got him, and he knew exactly what to do with it, driving it directly up the middle of the field. What a fun addition he is already making. The Blue Jays signed him for $22,500 as their 7th round selection this June. And Talley in his debut. Unlike a lot of the other Blue Jays draft picks who've been sent to Class Short Season A Vancouver, or who likely are starting things up at Class Advanced Rookie Bluefield next Tuesday, here he is immediately in Class Single A with Lansing. The pitch to DJ Neal will wait. A lob over to first base by Liberatore. And the manager Dallas McPherson was joking, Great, we get the guy in. And the first man that he has to face in his pro debut is a 6'5" lefty who throws 97. Talley's a left-handed batter, but it has not stopped him at all. The pitch to DJ Neal. Breaking ball, check swing foul. That got behind the on-deck hitter De Los Santos, and it ricocheted off, and it caught him. And I hope Luis is okay. Left hand is on his hip. He's now gesturing to his teammates in the dugout. He dodged it initially, but not the rebound. 7-0 Bowling Green. Liberatore throws. Neal whacks this one foul, right side, off the rooftop and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Four in the first, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth for Bowling Green's 7-0 edge. For the Lugnuts looking to get on the scoreboard. Talley, the runner at first base, swiped 5 bags in 6 attempts this past year with the Georgia Bulldogs. An 0-2 from Liberatore. Instead of pickoff though, Talley is safe. He was leaning the other way. A fine move by Liberatore, but what saved LJ Talley was he was only about a step and a half away from the base. So though his momentum was carrying him toward second, he was able to get back in. That was dangerous though. Liberatore throws. Breaking ball curves low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. By the way, about LJ, his name is Jason Talley Jr. LJ is Little Jason. A couple of years ago, if you remember, the Lugnuts had a player from South Carolina, LB Dantzler. A 1-2 pitch for DJ Neal. Swing and a miss. He got him with the curve. Neal is strikeout victim number 5 for Liberatore. 1 away. LB Dantzler was out of Florida, I believe, the state of Florida, but he attended the University of South Carolina. He too was an SEC guy, just like LJ Talley. LB Dantzler, he was named as such because his dad was Big Brad, and so he was Little Brad. So over there at first base is Little Jason. Little Jason, by the way, he stands 6'2", 200 pounds. Out of Folkestone, Georgia. 1 on, 1 out. The pitch to Luis De Los Santos. Thundered foul, ways off the right. Strike 1. De Los Santos yesterday, another good offensive game, taking steps the right direction. In the bottom of the 8th inning, taking on the all-star left-hander, the reliever Trey Cumby. He took a pitch away, and he crushed it off the right field wall for a leadoff double, eventually scoring the game-tying run. The pitch. He swings and fouls this one up and away to the right side. 0-2. Through the hazy and rainy conditions in Michigan State Capitol. I'm Jesse Goldberg-Strassler. This is Lugnuts Baseball. You can email in jgoldstrass@lansinglugnuts.com, JGOLDSTRASS @lansinglugnuts.com. Comments, questions, and the like. Pickoff throw, read by Talley, just walks back in. He's at first base with 1 out. The Lugnuts are batting, and they're trailing 7-0. They're getting out hit 10-2. This after they might have ruined Bowling Green's playoff chances yesterday with a 3-2 win. The 0-2 pitch, curveball high and wide, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Back to that Midwest League out-of-town scoreboard. For the Bowling Green Hot Rods, how are the Lake County Captains doing right now, taking on the Fort Wayne Tin Caps? Lake County 4, Fort Wayne nothing. They're in the top of the second, so they're still relatively early on. The 1-2. That also hit foul, ways off the right side, and a high fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It stays on Luis De Los Santos out of Bajos de Ayina, Dominican Republic. Fort Wayne has been playing better and better baseball recently. But in the top of the first inning, Bo Naylor hit a 2-run homer, and Will Benson a solo shot for the Caps. Liberatore's 1-2. Stayed high. De Los Santos didn't chase. If Lake County wins, it's over for Bowling Green's first half playoff chances, and they'll have to resort to the second half. And if the Lansing Lugnuts catch fire in the second half, and so does Bowling Green, we would have a rematch of last year's first round of the playoffs. Liberatore throws. De Los Santos grounds it through the left side. Base hit left field. Talley up to second base. Seaver Whalen lobs it in towards short. A single for De Los Santos, and there are Lansing Lugnuts at first and second, 1 man out. The top of the order coming up once more, and Reggie Pruitt. 7-0 Lansing trails. Last year, the story of the Midwest League season was that the Bowling Green Hot Rods and the Lansing Lugnuts were the two best teams the entire year. They were the two best at the end of the first half. Then at the end of the second half, they were still in first and second place in the Eastern Division. The Lansing Lugnuts won 80 games last year in a 140-game season. That's great. Bowling Green won 90. In the playoffs, the Lugnuts lost a heartbreaker by a run here at home. The pitch to Pruitt. Sails high and outside, off the mid of catcher Betts, and both runners move up. Betts goes to collect right of the home plate circle. So each runner advances 90 feet. Up to second base De Los Santos, and over to third base goes Talley. It has been called a wild pitch. Reggie Pruitt 1 for 2 with a single. Last year at the Lugnuts, losing game 1 by 1, losing game 2 at Bowling Green by 1. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. They were heartbreakers. They were oh so close. And at the conclusion of this series, the two coaching staffs got together, and it felt like there was a mutual understanding that they had just played the Midwest League Championship Series right there. Liberatore deals. Down low, blocked by Betts. 2 balls and 1 strike. In the end, Bowling Green, which had never ever won a Midwest League title in its franchise history, they won their first championship. They won it last year. Happened to be in the 10th year in franchise history too, their 10-year celebration. 7-0 Hot Rods. Liberatore throws. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Lugnuts' first championship came in the 2nd year in this franchise's history, back in 1997. And then 6 years later, they won again. 97 as a Royals affiliate, 2003 as a Cubs affiliate. The 2-2. Fouled away to the right side by Pruitt, up into the sweet level where it pinballs around. We remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. At third base Talley, at second base De Los Santos. 1 man out, last of the 6th. Lansing down by 7. The Lugnuts have never won a championship affiliated with the Toronto Blue Jays. They'd love to change that. The deal. Line foul to the right side. Pruitt stays alive, hitting it up onto the roof. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Reggie. Reginald Pruitt. Out of Kennesaw, Georgia. With L.J. Talley joining the Lugnuts, that makes 3 native Georgians on this team. Reggie, DJ Neal, and LJ. Talley at third, De Los Santos at second. The pitch curves high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The native Indiana, Nick Podcool, is on deck. The Lansing Lugnuts as a squad representing 12 different states, not to mention Canada, the Dominican, and Venezuela. The payoff. Pruitt swings and misses. Liberatore uses the fastball to strike him out. Strikeout number 6 for the southpaw. Out number 2. It is up to Nick Podcool. Here's another connection for L.J. Talley and his new Lugnuts teammates. Talley drafted this year, 7th round, University of Georgia, big conference school. An infielder who can play a variety of infield positions. Nick Podcool flares the first pitch, shallow right. That ball is caught by the charging Witherspoon, and that retires the side. That same description. A man who can play anywhere you need in the infield, a 7th rounder out of a big college program. That's Nick Podcool, last year's 7th round selection out of Notre Dame, and starting today at third base. But Podcool's the 3rd out. Talley stranded at 3rd. De Los Santos left at 2nd. The Lugnuts remain scoreless. 6 innings down, away to the 7th. It is Bowling Green 7, Lansing nothing. You are listening to Lansing Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. 7-0 Bowling Green leads in Lansing. And now we start up the 7th inning. First, the on-field host, Greg congratulating a birthday boy today. And the birthday boy, Greg, the pit crew, and Big Lug head off the field on the third base side. The Lansing Lugnuts defense finishing off its paces. And then we will see Witherspoon, Proctor, and Alvarez. They are batters 5, 6, and 7. And the visiting starting lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays Single-A affiliate. Troy Watson's second inning of work out of the pen. Watson opened things up in the 6th inning, relieving Joey Polito. Polito would relieve Josh Hyatt. And Hyatt fired 4 innings plus 1 batter, departing due to injury precaution in the 5th inning. Walking a batter in the 5th inning after allowing 4 runs in the 1st, and then blanking the Hot Rods in the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. But then Polito came in. He allowed 3 straight hits plus 2 wild pitches. 2 runs in that top of the 5th inning before he put a damper on the frame, aided by defense by his second baseman Talley and his right fielder Conine. Then in the 6th inning for Watson, a double to Wander Franco, an RBI single by Kaleo Johnson. And here we are, 7-0 Bowling Green. Grant Witherspoon bats left. The right-hander throws. Fastball high and wide, ball 1. Witherspoon is 3 for 3 with 3 singles. 1 to right, 1 to left, and 1 back to right field. Watson with his left foot in front of the right foot. Kicks, tosses. Calder strike in the outside corner. Now the count 1-1. Because it's Star Wars night, those images, not the headshots for each Bowling Green. Hot rod today. That's Emperor Palpatine who's up there right now. Witherspoon lofts one over short and down for a base hit. He's 4 for 4. DJ Neal plays it into second from left field. Witherspoon 2 hits to right, 2 hits to left, and he's on again. This time leading off the 7th inning. That is the 11th hit of the game for Bowling Green. Of those base hits, they have 9 singles and 2 doubles. That is Piranha baseball. That is no real enormous bites getting taken out of the Lugnuts, just small bites at a time. Ford Proctor's the new batter, 2 for 3, 2 singles, an RBI, and a run scored. He bats from the left side. The initial offering. Line drive center field. Pruitt backs up. He's there to make the catch. Baseball is basically lasered right at him. He rings it in, and Witherspoon back to first. 1 down. Roberto Alvarez is coming up next. Alvarez batting 7th in the order. He's 1 for 3. His 1 was a 2-run single in the 4-run first inning. 7-0 Hot Rods. The pitch. Runs down and inside. Ball 1. Up the ladder in the Blue Jays organization. They have already reached the All-Star break in the Florida State League. That is one of the interesting things. The Midwest League, the All-Star game is on a Tuesday. Throw over to first base by Watson, and Witherspoon dives back in. Tuesday is also the day in which the All-Star game is held at the Major League level. And that way they can close out Major League, break it on a Sunday. The pitch misses inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Because after all, Sunday's a really good day to bring fans out to the ballpark. So you don't want to stop everybody from hosting fans on a Saturday or a Sunday. You say about a Tuesday. We take a break from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the All-Star break, and then send everybody back to the ballparks. Regular season play on a Thursday. 1-0, fouled straight back to the net. And that sent a lot of rain off the netting. 1 ball and 1 strike on Alvarez. But the Florida State League, it's different. The Jupiter Hammerheads, I believe, are hosting the All-Star game this year in the Florida State League. And the Florida State League All-Star game is going on right now. Foul straight back, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Alvarez. There are a lot of names that you would recognize as players that we have seen come through here in the MWL. It is the FSL North Division, the Florida State League North. That is where the Lansing Lugnuts graduate up to play for the Dunedin Blue Jays. Dunedin represented by 4 All-Stars. Throw to first base. Runner gets back in. Nick Allgaier, the DJ, a player who skipped over the Lansing Lugnuts from Vancouver right up to Dunedin, started the game. Former Iowa Hawkeye, allowing 1 run on 3 hits, striking out 2. Line drive pushed foul down the right side, stays 1 ball and 2 strikes on Alvarez. Cullen Large was also named an All-Star, but he's currently on the injured list. Brad Wilson, an All-Star. Graham Spraker, an All-Star. And Riley Adams was an All-Star, but Adams was promoted up to AA New Hampshire. Now, Brad Wilson also jumped over Lansing, so did Adams. But Graham Spraker was a Lansing Lugnut. The 1-2. Grounded back past the mound, up the middle, hopping into center field, a base hit. Witherspoon around to second base, no further. Center fielder Pruitt delivers it back into second baseman Talley. Second base hit of the game for Alvarez, that one also a single. Runners are at first and second with one man out for Seaver Whalen, bottom part of the order. I also see there for the FSL North Division All-Stars, Jonathan India, who is a Dayton Dragon, Cincinnati Reds farmhand. Brady Policelli. Policelli was a West Michigan Whitecap. He's in the Detroit Tigers organization. If you didn't know, by the way, about Dunedin, a level above the Lugnuts, they won their division in the first half. The pitch to Seaver Whalen, called a strike at the knees. The Dunedin Blue Jays record in the first half, 41-24. Managed by Cesar Martin, the hitting coach. Maybe you remember Matt Young from last year too. Martin, the 2-year Lugnuts manager, each of the last 2 years. Matt Young last year was the Lugnuts hitting coach. And they have steered the DJs into the playoffs. They are in. They've already promoted some players too. Logan Warmoth, for example, the first round selection out of North Carolina last year, moving up to AA New Hampshire. And 0-1. Ground ball down toward third, glove by Podkul. Throws to second one. Tally to first. It is not in time. Danner thought that the Lugnuts should have had the call at first base, but it's beaten out by Whalen. A fielder's choice that goes 5-4 on your scorecard for the out on Alvarez at second. Witherspoon moves over to third base. Now runners are at the corners with 2 outs. Hot Rod's batting, leading 7-0 in the 7th. The batter's the number 9 hitter, and that is Kevin Santiago. Watson looking for a scoreless frame here, trying to strand Witherspoon at third and Whalen at first. Santiago tried to bunt his way on against Troy Watson to start up the 6th inning, and his catcher Ryan Gold equal to the task. He came out from behind home plate, he grabbed the baseball, and he pegged it to first in time. First and third, 2 down. Santiago, switch hitter, batting left. The first pitch to him from the right-hander Watson. Down and in, ball 1. The image for Santiago, not his face. That is Kylo Ren out of the newest trilogy. By the way, today, the AA New Hampshire Fisher Cats with Logan Warmoth getting the day off. Nate Pearson, 2 hitless, scoreless innings. He struck out 3, and the Fisher Cats are up 7-5. That game has gone to the 9th inning, leading the Richmond Flying Squirrels. Ball 1 offering. Popped foul down the left side. Third baseman Podkul approaches the stands, but it's well out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike on Santiago. Another big game for Forrest Wall. 2 for 5, a double and a homer, 3 runs scored. He was acquired from the Colorado Rockies in exchange for the final boss, Sung-Wan Oh. Picked up with Chad Spanberger. Watson's 1-1. Ground ball hit to second baseman Talley. Has it cleanly, throwing to first. Side retired. Watson strands 2. Go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 7-0 Bowling Green. This is Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. Let's go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Lansing Lugnuts down 7-0 to the Bowling Green Hot Rods. They have been stymied tonight by Matthew Liberatore. The Lugnuts batters due up here for the bottom of the 7th. Griffin Conine, Jake Brote, and Ryan Gold. And let's see if the Lugnuts 3, 4, 5 batters can do anything to change that score. Matthew Liberatore remaining in the ball game for Bowling Green. Lefty throws to lefty, on its way to Conine. Check swing, pitch miss down low, ball 1. Conine today, 2 at-bats, 2 2-ball, 2-strike counts, and 2 strikeouts looking. Liberatore's pitch number 69, swing and a miss. A ball and a strike. The Lugnuts' best chance so far came last inning. Had runners at first and third and one out. The deal. Breaking ball. Curves to the outside corner. Called strike two. But Liberatore struck out Reggie Pruitt with a 3-2 fastball. Then he retired Nick Podcool on a line out to right. Quick pitch. Swung at and missed, but it escapes the catcher Betts. It rolls to the backstop, and Conine reaches first. Liberatore went deep into his bag of tricks. He did whiff Conine for a third time, but his catcher Betts unable to corral it. Too filthy for him. And though the K, Conine is on. Wild pitch for Liberatore. That, by the way, is strikeout number 7 for the 19-year-old left-hander. The batter now is Jake Broad. Conine at first, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th, Lansing down 7-0. The deal. Stays outside, ball 1. Broad struck out looking in the 2nd inning, and he grounded out to the shortstop in the 5th inning. At the time, it was Wander Franco. Now it's Osmi Gregorio playing short. The kick, the toss. Swing and a miss. A fastball on the outer half, and he waved right through. The Lugnuts saw Liberatore earlier this year, and just like in that appearance, having difficulties. Liberatore looks at first, a kick, the throw, and he missed down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. They did score a run, though, against Liberatore back in that earlier start, and the way that they did it, Reggie Pruitt doubled, he took third base, and then he stole home. Liberatore to the plate. Fastball high and wide. 3 balls and 1 strike now on Jake Broad. 6 innings, 4 hits, and that 1 run, Reggie Pruitt stealing home on the lefty Liberatore. The Lugnuts lost that game 4-1. Liberatore the win. He pitches. Stayed high, and he has walked Jake Broad on 5 pitches. First walk of the game for Liberatore. Conine up to second, Broad on to first. Now Ryan Gold comes up, but first the catcher Betts pays a visit to the mound. And the home plate umpire Stephen Rios Jr. makes sure that everybody knows that is visit number 1 used by Bowling Green. Ryan Gold is grounded back to the mound, and he is flied out to left field. Lefty throws to lefty. Hits the outside corner. Strike called on a fastball. 7-0 Bowling Green. 4 in the first. Then they added 2 runs in the 5th and 1 more in the 6th. Liberatore looks at Conine. He deals. Misses down low and away. The runners start, and then they go back to their bases. It was the hard step by Conine toward third. Broad likewise at first toward second, but Betts kept that ball right there. And so both of the runners decided much better to be prudent. One ball and 1 strike on Ryan Gold. Nobody out. The delivery. Strike 2 called on the outside corner. I was talking to a major league scout who said one of the things that he doesn't see a lot from young pitchers is them understanding that they don't need to throw their fastest fastball all the time. Liberatore is doing that. He has shown when he needs to throw it at its hardest. He delivers the 1-2. A broken bat ground ball to the second baseman Santiago. Plays the second one, and Gregorio puts it into his pocket there. Ryan Gold reaches first base. Griffin Conine advances to third, and Jake Broad is forced out 4-6. Second baseman Santiago to the shortstop Gregorio. 1 out in the last of the 7th. And that bat, whoa, it's splintered. Hagen Danner is 0 for 2. He struck out looking in the 2nd inning. He grounded out to the first baseman in the 5th inning. Again, a prime opportunity for the Lansing Lugnuts to get at least on the scoreboard, down 7-0 in the 7th. The first pitch, fouled back over the net, up in a sweet level, banging off the plexiglass window and down to the seating bowl. No balls and a strike. Runners were at first and third in the sixth, then the strikeout and the lineout. The 0-1. Danner grounds it, foul down the left side. Runners are at first and third right now, one down. But Hagen Danner finds himself in a no-ball, two-strike hole. At first base, Gold. At third base, Conine. Liberatore kicks, throws. Missed down low with a changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A right-hander warms up in the Bowling Green bullpen down the left field line. That is Christopher Ogando. Liberatore's 1-2. Curveball called strike 3 on the inside corner. And Danner cannot believe that that pitch was called a strike. He has words for the home plate umpire, Steven Rios Jr., and keeps on letting him know exactly what he thinks. And now he heads back to the dugout. Strikeout number 8 for Liberatore. 2 outs in the home 7th inning. Well, LJ Talley today has been great defensively and 1 for 2 offensively with a single. Lefty versus lefty. The first pitch. Curveball, strike called on the outside corner. Each of his first 2 at-bats, he swung at the very first pitch. Grounded out to the third baseman Proctor to start up the 3rd inning. Single to center field to start up the 6th. The 0-1. Curveball away, 1 ball and 1 strike. He is batting from the left side with Ryan Gold at first, Griffin Conine at third. Lansing batting last of the 7th, 2 outs and trailing 7-0. Liberatore throws to Talley. Swing and a miss on another curveball down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He was fooled. Talley, one of the 2 senior co-captains for the Georgia Bulldogs team this past year's baseball season, the national number 4 overall seed. And what a powerhouse program he comes out of. Liberatore lets it fly. Curveball just missed outside. Talley watched it the entire way through. And he was the subject of today's pregame interview if you were able to listen in. If you weren't, it is online if you check the Lansing Lugnuts Twitter handle, @LansingLugnuts. My conversation with LJ. Liberatore deals. Talley swings and misses. A fastball high and tight. Liberatore strikes him out for strikeout number 9. And again, the Lugnuts leave runners at first and third base. They do not score as we go to the 8th inning. Bowling Green 7, Lansing nothing. You're listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. 7-0 Bowling Green it remains as we open up the 8th inning. The Lugnuts' Troy Watson back to the hill for his 3rd inning of relief work. Watson, the right-hander out of Texas with the Black Sox pulled up high. He's allowed 1 run so far through 2 innings. He's allowed 4 base hits in the process. Watson with the bright red spikes on. As we wait, now here comes the first base coach running around for Bowling Green all the way around to the right side, and it's Bo Brundage today. The outfielder getting the day off instead of the usual first base coach Jeremy Owens. Osmi Gregorio leads things off at the top of the 8th inning. Gregorio followed by Smith and Johnson, 1, 2, 3 in the Bowling Green order. Gregorio batting in the spot of Wander Franco. He replaced him defensive reasons in the bottom of the 6th inning. Right-hander throws to right-hander. Up and inside, ball 1. Gregorio's hometown, San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic, that great baseball hotbed that has produced so many major leaguers. 1-0. Missed inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Gregorio hopes to be one of them down the road. Originally signed by the Seattle Mariners, now in the Tampa Bay Rays organization, but his batting average has scuffled this year. 2-ball pitch. Fouled straight back. 2 balls and a strike. He is batting .162 in 54 games. Of his 31 hits, he has 5 doubles, 1 triple, and he does have 4 home runs and 18 runs batted in, but 62 strikeouts. He takes ball 3 from Watson. Now, if Gregorio gets on base, he is 9 for 9 in stealing bases, but he's just had difficulties getting on. Here's the 3-1 from Troy. No time is called first. The Lansing Lugnuts are shifted to the left, and the second baseman Talley moved over on the left side of second. Now the 3-1. A chopper's hit right to L.J. Talley. Room service hop taking his time, and he steers it over to first. There's one down. So it looks like a ground out to the shortstop, but that's actually a ground out to the second baseman on your scorecard. The batter now is Michael Smith. Smith today is 0 for 3. Reached base via walk in the very first inning, and he scored a run. One of the 4 runs that frame for Bowling Green that got them off to a great start. They haven't let up. The pitch to Smith at the knees, a called strike 1. Matthew Liberatore is part of the story. 7 scoreless innings for the 19-year-old, striking at 9, allowing only 3 hits. 7-0 hot rods. Watson deals down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on the top of the 8th inning. The 1-1 toss. Swing and a miss on a changeup. A ball and 2 strikes on Smith. Today is the next to last day of the first half of the regular season. If we go back in Lansing Lugnuts history, June 15, 2008, we can find ourselves in the very last day of the regular season. Here's a 1-2. A chopper's hit on the left of the diamond. The shortstop De Los Santos gloves, throws to get him at first, and 2 down. The Lansing Lugnuts needed to win in order to clinch the first half Eastern Division title on June 15, 2008. And not only did they win, they scored 11 runs in the 8th inning, and that tied the most runs that the Lugnuts have scored in any inning in franchise history. They demolished the Great Lakes Loons 18-6. They had 5 home runs in the game. That is today in Lugnuts history. What a win for the Lugnuts to clinch that playoff berth. Eric Island in the game set a new franchise record, scoring 5 runs. Kaleo Johnson lays off a breaking ball down and away. On appeal, he didn't go. Dylan Bradley down at first, says ball 1. Matt Liuzza, John Tolosano each drove in 5 runs. Matt Liuzza hit 2 homers. John Tolosano, Mike McDade, Moises Sierra each hit 1. A foul back off the top of the net. 1 ball and 1 strike on Kaleo Johnson. 22 base hits. So you want to clinch a playoff berth? How about 18-6 the win? The deal. Strike 2 called right down Michigan Avenue with a slider. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 8th. Lansing down 7-0 to Bowling Green. Watson throws. Johnson takes it outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Also today in Lugnuts history, June 15th, 2016, the Great Lakes Loons 1 out away from their first no-hitter in franchise history, and then the Lugnuts broke it up. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Troy Watson blows away Kaleo Johnson with a fastball, and the side is retired. 7.5 complete, 7-0 Bowling Green leads. The Lansing Lugnuts will come up in the bottom of the 8th, and we'll see if Bowling Green will make a call to the bullpen. Looks like Matthew Liberatore is done. You're listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. A tremendous start tonight by Matthew Liberatore, the Tampa Bay 2018 first rounder. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, 2 wild pitches, 0 runs allowed. 89 pitches and 61 of them for strikes. Now he is out of the game. A 7-0 lead for his Bowling Green Hot Rods. The new man on the mound, a right-hander, Christopher Ogando. Ogando was acquired via Rule 5 draft selection. That was in 2018, so this past December by Tampa Bay. Ogando out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, drafted out of the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. And last year he had pitched for the DSL Diamondbacks Dominican Summer League, as well as the Hillsboro Hops and the Missoula Osprey. That first name of Christopher, C-R-I-S-T-O-F-E-R, and then Ogando, O-G-A-N-D-O. Ogando wears number 45. In his way, the Lansing Lugnuts 8-9-1 batters Neil De Los Santos, and then Reggie Pruitt right back up to the top of the order. Beginning with DJ Neal to get things going. Yesterday was a pivotal bottom of the 8th inning. The Lugnuts entered it trailing, and they exited leading and eventually winning the game. But yesterday it was a 1-run deficit that faced them, not a 7-run deficit. Right-hander throws to right-hander. Fastball up and in. Ball 1 to DJ Neal. It was Neal yesterday. An RBI double to tie up the score at 2-2. And then he was wild pitched to third, and he scored the go-ahead run on a Gabriel Moreno sac fly. The pitch stayed high again. 2 balls and no strikes. Neal today 0 for 2 with a fly out to center and a strikeout swinging against the starter Liberatore. Ogando, the man on the mound, a 2-1 record and a 3.0 ERA. Steps back, leg kick, and the pitch. Ground ball down the third base side, knocked down by Proctor. Picks it up, throws across late. Neal reaches. Single, says the official score. Field single by DJ Neal up the third base line. And now Luis De Los Santos. De Los Santos is 1 for 2. Guiding out to the shortstop in the 3rd inning, singling to left field in the 6th inning. One of those 3 hits allowed by Liberatore. First offering, a breaking ball is up and in, ball 1. Lansing is batting, last of the 8th, trailing 7-0 to Bowling Green. Christopher Jesus Ogando out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. The ball 1 offering. The native of Bajos de Ayina, Dominican Republic, takes it high. 2 balls and no strikes. Remember, it was a 2-0 that Neal just singled on. Ogando in his last appearance, 2 innings, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, but scoreless, pitching against Fort Wayne. He fires. And that's there at the letters, a called strike with a fastball. Ogando was originally signed to a contract, and we got to go all the way back. He was pitching for the Florida Marlins Dominican Summer League team in 2013. Fast forward 5 years. Fastball swung at and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was up. De Los Santos went up after it, and he came up empty. The Arizona Diamondbacks signed him as a free agent June 5th, 2018. So last year was one and done for him in the Diamondbacks organization. Ogando brings the 2-2. Breaking ball, weakly bounced toward short, picked up by Gregorio. Underhands to second, and that is 1, and that is all. Neal is forced out as he came in sliding feet first. De Los Santos is on at first base. 6-4 on the putout. 1 down for the top of the order, and Reggie Pruitt. Lansing trailing 7-0. Lugnuts are down to their final 5 outs today. The lead for De Los Santos at first. First pitch. Breaking ball across the inside corner. Strike 1 called. That is a beauty of a sharp slider and right through the front door. Ogando with the right hand holding the baseball, flowing freely away from the body. Deals. Slider swung out and missed. Strike 2. He gets the sign with that baseball in his right hand. The glove on his left away. So here comes. A bend at the waist. The glove is pressed into his front left leg. Has the sign. Sets at the belt. Delivers. Slider bounced foul at home plate. And Pruitt stays alive. Last year, the most notable appearances for Ogando. It was what he did in the Dominican Summer League. Pitching for the Diamondbacks #1 team, DB1. 10 relief appearances, 23 in the 3rd innings. 2 unearned runs allowed. Dealing, slider, foul tipped into the mid of Betts, and Reggie Pruitt is done on strikes. First strikeout for Ogando. 2 outs now in the last of the 8th inning. 26 strikeouts and 6 walks last year in the Dominican Summer League. Up to Hillsborough in the Northwest League for 8 appearances, 9 in the third inning, 17 strikeouts, and then to Missoula Pioneer League, 2 strikeouts, 1 inning. All things considered, 45 Ks and 33 2/3, and that now gives him 34 strikeouts this year with Bowling Green and 27 2/3. He throws to Nick Podcool, a slider, and a called strike 1. 2 outs in the last of the 8th. The Lugnuts are batting down 7-0. Luis De Los Santos walks off his lead from first. An 0-1. Podcool takes. Breaking ball, called strike 2. Christopher Ogando, age 22. Getting a second chance at his baseball career. Making the most of it. His pitch, runner takes off. Line drive right center field to the alleyway. Down for a base hit, and that's into Triples Alley, rolling to the wall. De Los Santos scores. Podcool's on his way for third base. Now the ball is relayed in as Podcool stops with an RBI triple. Lansing's on the scoreboard, down 7-1. An 0-2 pitch to Nick Podcool, and he did well to punch that ball into the opposite field gap. It is Podcool's second triple of the year. It is the Lugnuts' 34th triple of the year, and that ties them for the most triples among any team in professional baseball, major league or minor league, tying them with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Now Griffin Conine, first pitch fouled straight back, strike 1. There is life in this crowd, though the Lugnuts are still down by 6. Conine is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, all of those against the starter Liberatore. And now taking on the reliever Ogando. Right-hander throwing to the lefty. The deal. Slider fouled away to the left side, up into the sweet level. No balls and 2 strikes. Conine with that 2-tone bat, waiting, open stance. The 0-2. Hit foul in the air down the left, just a little late on a fastball. It's that fastball over Cedar Street. Imagine if Conine was able to turn one around right now. 7-1 Hot Rods. Podcool at third, 2 outs in the 8th inning. Ogando kicks, throws. Conine swings and misses the off speed. He strikes out for a 4th time in the game, and the inning has come to an end. But it's Nick Podcool's RBI triple that puts the Lugnuts on the scoreboard, down 7-1 to Bowling Green, going to the 9th inning. You are listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. We have reached the 9th inning. The Lansing Lugnuts are trailing the Bowling Green Hot Rods now 7-1. An RBI triple in the bottom half of the 8th inning by Nick Podcool. Troy Watson back to the hill. The Lugnuts are looking to get 4 innings of relief from the right-hander out of the University of Northern Colorado. They'll take on Betts, Witherspoon, and Proctor here. This is the 4, 5, 6 spot in the Bowling Green starting lineup. And it begins with Chris Betts batting from the left side. The right-hander Watson. Shortstop De Los Santos up the middle. Third baseman Podcool playing to the shortstop hole. First pitch fouled back to the screen. Strike 1. Outfield is playing straight up. Rather, center fielder Pruitt maybe a couple of steps toward right center, not too much. Here's the pitch to Betts. And Watson barely missed the outside corner with the breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The man on deck, Grant Witherspoon, 4 for 4 in this game. The pitch, ground ball, hard hit but foul. Off the top and into the Lugnuts bullpen, where a reliever makes a kick save. The count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Time is called at home plate. We have played from middle innings onward in this perpetual mist. The 1-2 pitch. Just missed. No, called strike 3 on the outside corner. Watson got the call from home plate umpire Steven Rios Jr. And though Betts is nonplussed, and he has some words for Rios, he has gone on strikes to open up the 9th inning. Second straight strikeout for Watson. Watson throws, and he misses down low to Witherspoon, ball 1. Come the bottom half of this 9th inning, we'll be looking at Brodt, Gold, and Danner. 4, 5, 6 for the Nuts. A 1-0 for Witherspoon. Missed inside, 2 balls and no strikes. 7-1 is the score. Bowling Green leading Lansing. And with this mist, it does feel like we are all in a cloud right now. The 2-ball pitch. Line drive caught by second baseman Talley. Two down. That was a frozen rope right at him. Ford Proctor now. Batting from the left side, 2 outs, nobody on. Watson has set down the last 7 batters. 7-1 Hot Rods. Here's the kick and the pitch. And that missed outside, ball 1. 12-hit game for the Bowling Green Hot Rods. 4 from Witherspoon, 2 from Proctor, 2 from Kaleo Johnson. Then 1 apiece Franco, Betts, 2 for Alvarez. Breaking ball around and through the outside corner, clipping the edge for a called strike. Watson with the glove up in front of his face, winds and throws, and he missed down and inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Watson among the Lansing Lugnuts players, highly extroverted, highly goofy throughout this season. Very high energy. He deals, and he missed down low with the off speed. The count has gone to 3 balls and a strike. Ford Proctor starting at third base today. He's also played shortstop, and he's played second base for this Bowling Green Hot Rods club. The pitch. Called a strike in the outside corner. Proctor discarded his bat to the third base side dugout, and he walks across home plate, and he goes to get it. Now wiping it off on his jersey pant leg. After all, the grass is wet. Watson with the 3-2. Proctor whacks it foul off the left side. There's a fastball up and away at 97 here on the stadium gun. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now there was the plan entering play today and entering this game for LAFCU postgame fireworks. We'll see if the weather has changed those plans. The payoff pitch. Outside for ball 4, and Watson has walked him. That is the first walk given out by Troy. A 2-out base runner now in the top half of the 9th inning. So bring up Roberto Alvarez. Alvarez has a 2-run single in the first, a strikeout swinging in the 3rd inning. A line out to right field in the 5th, and a single up the middle in the 7th. Proctor at first base with 2 away. The pitch. Line drive, left field. DJ Neal backs up, going down, he makes the catch, and then he executes a back somersault. Why not? The grab supplies the out, and then you can give him a perfect 10 on the score as he stuck the landing and finishes the floor routine looking good. Let's go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. It is Bowling Green 7, Lansing 1. You are listening to Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. It is 7-1. Bowling Green is on top as we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. The Lansing Lugnuts batters trying to stave off this defeat. Jake Brote, Ryan Gold, and Hagen Danner. Lugnuts only scored their first run of the game in the bottom of the 8th inning, a 2-out RBI triple by Nick Podcool. We begin with Jake Brote. Brote today is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a ground out to short, and a walk. Takes on the right-hander Christopher Ogando, who remains in for a second inning of work out of the Bowling Green pen. He lets it fly. Brote takes the breaking ball high, ball 1. Fastball, slider, or sometimes slider fastball is what we've seen from Ogando. Brote at 6-5, waiting. Right-hander throws to right-hander. Here it is. And he grabs the outside corner. Strike called on the fastball. A ball and a strike on Brote. Ogando with the glove held out in front of him. At shortstop, Gregorio dances back and forth. The pitch. Drilled to right field. This ball's hit an awful long way at the wall. Witherspoon makes the catch. It died in the rainy night without any wind and no carry. One down now in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Ryan Gold now batting from the left side. The first pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Gold is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice, he's flied out once. The deal. Popped up, soaring foul, out of play to the left side. No balls and 2 strikes. Back to Brote, though. That is exactly how we have seen a lot of Jake Brote home runs look this year. That is taking a fastball away and then walloping them to right field. But this one, the ballpark hung on. 1 out, nobody on, 7-1 hot rods. The 2-strike offering from Ogando. Gold rolls it over, foul on the right side. The off speed away from him. No balls and 2 strikes, it stays. Brote, Gold, Podcool, Kobe Johnson, Josh Winkowski, all of them Lansing Lugnuts All-Stars on Tuesday at the Midwest League All-Star Game in South Bend. Ogando throws, breaking ball, broken bat, little blooper, shallow center, shortstop Gregorio retrieves, and there's 2 outs. That is the 2nd consecutive at-bat that Ryan Gold has broken his bat. Lansing is down to its very last out. The batter now is Hagen Danner. Danner's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, sandwiching a ground out to first. He had frustrations against Liberatore. 7-1 hot rods, the initial offering. A slider just outside and a good take by Danner. Playing in the rain in Lansing, Michigan. One more game to go in the series and this half tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. Here's the 1-0. Slider at the knees for a called strike. 1-1 on Danner. The man on deck is L.J. Talley, and his pro debut 1 for 3 for the second baseman. Ogando throws. Slider right across the inside corner. Strike 2 called. Lansing is down to its very last strike. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 9th. Ogando kicks and offers. Slider, called strike 3 on the outside corner, and this ball game is over. Bowling Green is victorious 7-1. Lansing Lugnuts postgame is on its way next. This is Lugnuts Baseball on Lansing Sports Station. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing.